Hello, welcome to BDC's first ever talk show, The Talk. I am your host, Ira Shafkat. This show will be seen on social media platforms every Friday. The guests in our show would be some inspiring personalities and subject specialists from the campus. The formation of this talk show is simplified with 3 exciting and unique segments. Without wasting any time, I would like to invite our guest for this week's show. Please welcome the A-Levels headmaster, Sir Asim Ali. Welcome to the talk, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us today. It is a great pleasure to have you on our first show.
Pleasure, Adam.
Yeah, so shall we get started with our first segment? Okay, I'm going to ask a few questions. They're very simple questions, so I'm sure you wouldn't have any question answering them. So the first question is, what is your philosophy of education?
Education is the entire meaning of life and existence, in my opinion. It encompasses our thoughts, our actions, our creativity, our development, our planning. The march of individuals and societies is strongly determined by what kind of education they have received and the kind of education they have imparted. I believe that education isn't something that is found out or focused into any given segment of life. We receive and we partake education till the time that we are alive. So many different ways that we exist. However, if we focus on standardized education, which is what schools do, there are certain stipulations that we have to go through. There are grades, there is a progress from class to class, there are certain standardized tests and examinations that have to be passed. However, the subject accumulation and the technical know-how the students acquire along the way is one aspect of education. The other aspect is how to function as a productive member of society. Unless we integrate the two, we do not have a civilized, healthy, progressive, positive society. That is my aim for my students.
It is much more intense than it seems. Education in every way.
No, not at all. It's not intense. It is actually a philosophy that has been propounded between mankind ever since man has been thinking and has been creating sociological platforms of interaction. I believe that if we only focus on how best to impart technical knowledge without educating our students or without inducting them into the art of coexistence, peaceful coexistence, we have lost the plot. So, I believe that it is a complete campus and not just a few colors of life. That is what education is.
And our second question is, how would you describe your leadership style?
Well, I can't give you an opinion on it. For that, you should have a Gallup poll, have a survey.
Yes.
However, I would like to believe that my leadership style is participatory. I like to inspire a sense of participation from my students and my teachers. I want them to understand and believe in what they're doing, rather than something that is top-down. Top-down is something that is only effective, in my opinion, till it is being monitored completely. Monitoring is something that has to be done at all stages of life, because students and even as grown-ups, we tend to do things which are against our own interests, simply because of certain ingrained habits like sheer procrastination or the will to do something that will harm somebody else. However, if we believe in a certain way of life and in a certain way of conduct, then that becomes part of our nature. So I believe that For me, leadership is making people understand and accepting what they have to do and why they have to do it.
Why they have to do it, yes, definitely. Sir, the third question is it's a general question. What are your views on Donald Trump being the new president of
Well,
the
my
US?
views are divided. I mean, like Donald Trump, he divides everybody, so I'm also divided. The liberal in me and the progressive in me and the secular in me, and by the way, I'd like to define secular here. Secular does not mean love Indian. Secular means every person has a right to their own religion and every person has a right to their own opinion
Yes.
without crushing the other with his
Equality.
That's equity.
Yeah.
So that part of my person abhors the concept of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is all about division. Donald Trump is all about hatred. Donald Trump is all about definitions. Donald Trump is all about painting black and white without any nuances, without understanding, without reference to context.
He doesn't like to understand.
He doesn't want to understand.
He doesn't want
right?
to.
And Donald Trump appeals to the baser elements of human nature. The more animalistic instinct, the herd concept, the tribal concept, the hatred concept, and the belligerence, and the followers of Donald Trump are eventually those who don't want to really delve into the reasons of why things happen in the world. Would be excited by and by his concept, and there will be greater intolerance in society because of what Donald Trump represents. The other part of me is questioning why has America chosen him?
That is a very good question. Why?
That part of me actually makes me sadder, because that means that in America, there are lots of things that American policy, this is not a question of American policy right now, but we can. On the other hand, America has been one of the largest aid givers in the world. It's one of the largest countries which is built on immigration, and it is the country which allows the largest amounts of immigrants coming into the country. So why have they come around to this? That is a question that all of us, if we reflect deeply, would tell us that circumstances in the last 15 years in international politics have become so polarized that the Americans in general felt threatened enough to protect their own identity, however they defined it, as an exclusionist identity. So that is the side.
So you think that America was forced to choose Donald Trump?
They were tripped into it, yes.
Yeah.
They were tripped into it, and he appealed to their baser instincts, and they responded like that. And I think this phenomenon is not a flash in the pan. I think it will continue for some time.
Yes. Okay, our fourth question is, how do you build a positive school culture or climate?
By showing respect to everybody, by giving everybody the concept of going out there and trying to do what they think they can do, maybe sports, academics, extracurricular activities, by giving them as much support as possible, as much encouragement as possible, by showing them the sidelines so that they don't roll off the road. My greatest challenge in the school has been trying to tell students that you are blessed in so many different ways, and you are still not taking full advantage of the facilities that are
Many people don't get these facilities either.
Millions do it. And in a country like Pakistan, where you have a sharp income divide and you have a larger section of the population which does not have access to these facilities, this is actually a huge waste of resources. So one of our greater challenges has been to try to make my students understand that they should utilize these resources and not take them for granted. Because if their conduct and if their use of time isn't better than an average person on the street doing an average job like, let's say, driving a rickshaw, then what's the point of this entire infrastructure and this entire human resource that is being deployed to improve their lives?
Okay, sir. Our last question for this session is, where do you see BDC in the next 5 years?
Sooner, inshallah. I want BDC to be a school that is quoted across the country as a school that chisels and a school that makes possible flourishing of people's character, personalities, and talents.
Okay, thank you, sir. Our first segment is over now. Segment now. It is a rapid fire session with short questions that we will be asking Sir Asim now. Sir, who is your favorite actor?
How rapid did you answer?
Very rapid.
Okay. G. Who is my
Favorite actor?
favorite actor? Is Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, okay. Your favorite song?
Sound of Silence. Simon Garfunkel.
Okay. What were you like in high school?
I was far too highly strung, I guess. I was very serious, very sober. My parents never had a complaint. My teachers used to love me because I was very respectful towards them. So but I used to enjoy my sports and I had great friendships. And I had a split personality. With my friends, I was a completely different person. And with the rest of the students,
Obviously, you have to be
I'm
different.
very different.
So, what sport did you used to play?
Riding, swimming, water polo.
That's a lot. What is your favorite hobby?
Eating with friends,
Okay.
going out, eating.
Socializing.
Yep. Well, eating. I like to have gupshup and eat.
Okay. What is that one thing that you were most afraid of?
I'm afraid of hatred.
Hatred. Okay.
It's bigotry. I'm afraid of bigotry and hatred. Yes.
And your favorite food?
Shabdeg.
Okay. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how much would you rate me as a host?
9.5.
9.5, that's it? Okay. And are you a good listener or a good speaker?
I would like to think both. I think I've learned a lot by listening to other people.
Yeah.
And I think both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 50-50. I'd like to think.
And how many kids do you have?
A lot of us is 3.
3.
Yeah, 2 sons and a daughter.
That's nice. Who's the eldest?
2 sons, the boys are newlyweds and girls is youngest.
Okay, that's nice. Our second segment is over now, and we will be headed for our third segment in a while. Move towards our third segment now, and I will, and MS Razan, the president of the Dynamic Society, will ask a few questions from Sir Asim now.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Sir, one thing that I wanted to ask you is that what motivates you that you are an administrator, and we've heard from students that you were a teacher, and the teachers don't usually want to be in the administration. So what inspired you?
Well, as an A-level teacher, one of the main reasons why teachers don't want to come to admin is because there's a financial loss involved.
Yeah.
However, I miss my teaching. Teaching allows you a certain level of one-on-one interaction with students, which is very different from that of being an administrator. But being an administrator, you are able to then be a part of the entire philosophy of the school, the entire temperament of the school. And I more enjoy this position in that context, where I'm able to touch the lives of the entire student body rather than being in contact with a smaller segment. It's a very different role because it is the pressures and the expectations, not just from the structure of the system, but from within oneself as well, are attending. The rewards are tremendous because the rewards of education, of being a teacher and an administrator both, are something that keep coming later on in life. So that is what motivates me. 10 years down the road, a student turns around and says, "So those 6 months that I spent with you, that one piece of advice that you gave to me, that one thing that you made easier for me, helped me do this, and I'm grateful to you." That I think is the building role in a person's life, a student's life. That is the motivation for me.
Sir, one thing that I've observed really much is that why do you think that there is a growing intolerance among young people, especially those of our age? And how do you think that this problem can be curbed?
It is linked to this with the Donald Trump question that I was asked earlier. There's a growing religion in populations and societies in general, which stems from a lack of reference to context, an appreciation of reference to context about why people are doing what. A, B, it is a kind of a belief that is exclusionist. If I believe in something, the idea has come into people's minds that I believe it to the extent where opposing belief must be quashed. So why has it happened? The great powers have a lot to answer for that. They've used populations for their own commercial and power interests, for growth of energy, the fight for minerals, sheer greed in terms of armaments, sale of armaments. It's a very complex question. But the result of that is the world has seen in the last 30 years growth of that. But on the other hand, there's been also there's been a resurgence of bigoted religious thought across the world, which again has put people on a very tight sort of path, where a very sort of narrow path of trying to impose their mindset on society and on people in general with force. That is the reason. How can it be alleviated? Well, in my school, I always encourage dialogue. I want students to talk, to understand that use of force is a negation of civilization, is a negation of progress, is a negation of being a human being. Inshallah, if I can get that across to my students, I've done my job. I live a happy man. That's my aim.
Our last question for today's talk show will be that what is your message that you would like to give to the students of our age?
Utilize this time to improve your intellect, your personality. Let your talents come to the fore. Respect each other's individuality and the concept of being a human being. Do not be bigoted. Do not think in terms of black and white. Believe in what you want to believe in. Go out there, strive for the best, go for your goal. Try your best, leave the rest to God, and have compassion for everyone.
Thank you, sir. We have come to an end of our first talk show, and thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you.